Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about why a pathway. What does that provide for us, and what does that provide for you, and how to really think about what you're working through. As we've stated before, I mean, we're fundamentalists. We are not fundamentalists. We're behaviorists, and we look to express ideas in the auction behaviorally. We focus on behaviors above technicals or fundamentals because we believe that auctions are driven more by behavior than they are those other things. The fundamental reactions and reports, the technical things are ways that we can measure those behaviors, but it's ultimately behavior that drives that. And so as you work through the modules of the pathway, which there's 16 complementing modules built to hone your auction insight. These are from my experience on the institutional side of markets, working with the managed futures desk, working with institutional brokers and building plans for them and taking what was in those plans and breaking that out and saying, oh, okay, there are core ideas here around common challenges, opportunity, and risk that if we understand these and we see the relationship between these, ultimately, there's some really great things and outcomes that happen along the way. One, is it helps us cut through the noise. You have likely spent a lot of time looking at all kinds of resources that are out there around how to trade. And it's some of it is actually very actionable. The challenge is you don't know what is or what isn't. And you may find something that actually is very robust and effective, and yet the few instances that you tried to express it, it didn't work. It didn't mean that was a bad idea. It just means that one didn't work. That's one of the difficult things of the binary parts of markets. But having a solid foundation of how the auction works and seeing the interrelation of these 16 principles will help you cut through that noise. It's going to help you build a foundation that you can build onto. One of our objectives in your market competence is the ability to be able to have full ownership of how the auction works so you can grab additional tools to develop along the way. Now, of these 16 modules, all of these modules, as you work through the actual module content, you'll find that all of them have a standalone principle that you can use immediately. So when you don't have to go through all 16 to feel like, oh, I can do something. You're going to get action and suggestions for action off of all of these. We'll show how to even express them in trades because we got to take concept into application. But it's as you get through all 16 that you're going to start to see the interrelationship between these and get really, really key insights. For example, in Module 5, we talk about auction balances to predict pending moves. Essentially, if we find an auction that's balanced, you'll know what that means here in the future. That is a way that we can predict that a move is coming. If we have a news catalyst like an FOMC or CPI or non-farm payrolls that is in front of the balanced market, which we talk about that in Module 15, we know when that move from balance is likely to happen. So we can actually even predict when a move might occur combining two concepts from two of the modules. And that's just two of the 16. When you see all 16, it's really going to give you a great perspective on how these auctions work. And the process kind of goes like this. We're going to learn how to use the profile as a tool to interpret market generated information, which is the behavior. We're going to put that information into an actionable daily plan, and then we're going to make consistent, independent, repeatable trading decisions via playbook trades. This is the path. Okay, so it's how do we understand what the auction is attempting to do? Where is it likely to go next? The 16 modules will help us understand that and help us put that into an actionable plan. We'll talk about how to build those plans, and then we'll put that into consistent, independent, repeatable trading decisions vis-a-vis playbook setups that we can express inside of that. And the ultimate outcome is that you're going to be able to create your own daily trading plan with reasonable expectations of where the auction is likely to go next, and armed with a playbook of tested setups ready to put in action at your discretion, which will be super exciting. Now, a couple other objectives that are key as we go forward in the pathway. Things that we look for. The pathway is a means towards an end, but here are some of the things that are marks of, hey, we're getting to where we need to be. The first one is there are 4 behaviors that are observable in every auction. You're going to know how to observe them. You're going to know what they are. What's key about this is that when you know what these 4 are, you'll be able to know which one you're in, and you'll be able to predict what the next one's going to be. you'll start to scare people around you because you'll say, hey, oh yeah, we're going to go to hit this price. And you're going to go, what? Like, yeah, it isn't rocket science. It's just you haven't seen the tools yet that are available to an institutional perspective that we use day in, day out to have pretty high probability of predictive capability based on if we auction to this price, then the next destination is this price. And what are those prices? You're going to know the 4 questions to ask before entering a trade and how to answer them. And in fact, if you can't ask and answer those before you place a trade, you won't place a trade. Those will be embedded into every thought is these 4 questions. You'll be a 4-question trader. And then finally, there's 4 stages of auction competency. Stage 1 is I don't know what I don't know. Stage 2 is I know that I don't know. Stage 3 is I know and I'm learning. And then stage 4 is that you know it so well it becomes intuitive. Okay, and so you'll know where you are on that spectrum. Most of you, our job is to get you up to a stage 3, where you know what you know, you can trust it, you can lean on it, and now we got to get the reps in it until it becomes instinctive. Okay, so those are our key objectives that we're working for, and it's the overlap of those 3 is where we find that confidence and consistency that's going to lead you to the types of trading that you want to be as you express it. Now, a couple other objectives. 1, to be able to build a playbook and plan for self-directed trading using the profiling as your foundational development tool. We're going to help you gain a fundamental and rigorous framework for approaching markets that will be a foundation for continued growth and development. This is not an end. This is a beginning, but it's a beginning with insight that you can really trust. You're going to see day in, day out, a methodical and disciplined approach to markets that's needed in successful trading. You're going to see how to apply auction market theory every day in several futures products. You will learn how to review auction activity in preparation for the coming trading session. And finally, you'll be able to get feedback on your trade plans and execution to help you build your trade plan around structures and setups you can more easily identify. Key, you're going to be able to approach the auction any and every day knowing what you want to do and when. This is a significant outcome of the work in the pathway, and it's one to always home base back to and say, is this how I'm doing? Again, if you're not experiencing that, raise your hand. We'll get you in the right direction. How to work through the pathway. What does that work look like? So 1, watch and take notes on each of the pathway modules. There's slide decks that are related to those that you can print out, and you can take notes as you work through all of those. Practice in sim and track the anchor trades, as well as additional playbook setups that we will expose you to that are derived from behavioral statistics and things we can see in the auction structure in the market profile graphic. Work on building your daily plan. Where do I believe the auction is attempting to go? How's it doing in that direction? What are the likely scenarios for the next day? Determine which products and setups will be your anchors. When we talk about anchors, that is, when nothing else is working, how do I come back every day and know that I have a high probability of success of taking money out of the market? That is when we're putting stuff, live money on the line. Leverage one-on-one sessions. Regardless of what pathway you selected, you have access to one-on-one sessions. Please use those. That's a place where we can actually tune the approach and plan to you and to where you're trying to express that. So make sure that you take every opportunity to use those. And then go live once you have confidence of 80% chance of success when coming into any session. So notice I said go live. That means if you're trading live now and you're not yet consistently profitable, I'm highly encouraging you to stop. Trading live. Go back to sim. Now, some of you will say, hey, if I do that, there's no emotion. Well, we're not talking about the way that you've probably traded sim before. People who say that, I want to go to sim because I don't put any emotion to it. It's because you didn't do it with any kind of structure or process. I'm talking about trading sim as if you're actually trying to win, but you're trying to remove this component of not really having the confidence and consistency yet to put live money on. Because what we're going to do is you work through these playbook setups, you're going to get hundreds of instances in some of them before you put live money on, but it's going to be a totally different experience than when you go to put live money on, knowing with confidence that you can express it, as opposed to putting live money on and going, maybe. Okay. So in a sense of trying to build a foundation that's going to last, please trust us on this. Hold back on the live stuff until you're ready to go. Now, if there's demonstration trades that we take during some of our sessions or intraday, and you want to join us, that's a different story. We will help manage those trades. We know where the risk is, and we'll go around that. But as far as your own self-directed trades, until you've got the data to know where you're doing, please, please, please save your bullets. Okay? So I hope that gives you some insight into why a pathway is needed and how you can use that to move you towards those key objectives and get you where you want to be in markets.